Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel with Wombleleader Racing. It's time for another daily race C Strategy Guide where we are heading to Fuji International Speedway in Japan for a Group 2 race around the iconic Japanese circuit. We have 13 laps, fuel consumption at times 3, tyre wear at times 13, and we have both the medium and the racing hard tyre available. And if this race is anything to go by the last time it came round, it will be mandatory to run that racing hard tyre at some point during the race. Now this is a fairly popular combination for Power40 Digital to bestow upon us in this game. I think this is maybe the 4th time it's came round in the last year. So because of that, I have a strategy guide from about 3-4 months ago when it first came round. So this guide here is going to be a bit more of a brief look at the race. We will cover everything there is to sort of cover in it, but if you want to sort of take a look at that full guide, I shall leave a link for that in the description. The first thing we shall look at in this one is fuel consumption. Here we are starting lap 2 of a run, and the fuel counter is sitting at 13.7 laps, so absolutely no fuel consumption worries for this one. Not a whole lot more to say about that, no fuel consumption to worry about. Okay, moving on to pit stops, because in this race you will be making at least one of those, so a good idea to have an idea as to how much time that's going to cost you. So into the pit lane we come, car straight into the box, crew get to work changing the tyres, obviously no fuel as we just discussed. Car is stationary for 5.4 seconds and the pit time clock stops at 12.4. And that all works out at a loss of around about 6.5 seconds. So next thing we shall move on to take a look at is the tyre situation. As I said, it's about 99.9% certain that you will have to run the hard tyre at some point in this race. It will be mandatory almost certainly. So let's take a look at the medium versus hard tyres. Get an idea of how much of a lap time advantage the medium is over the hard. At what point those tyres converge to be around about the same kind of pace. Get an idea of the tyre wear, how long the tyres are going to last, and taking all that information from this, from the fuel and pit loss, we shall move on to talk about some strategy. So the test for this one was to do a nice slow out lap, and then I was going to do 5 flying laps on both the compounds of tyres. I would keep repeating the runs until I was satisfied that I had a good sort of representative run, and then we can sort of compare the lap times at each stage as the fuel comes down, and we'll get an idea as to how much of an advantage the medium tyre is as the laps tick off. So this is the medium tyre run here. You can see we have kicked off with a 131.5 and then gradually lost some pace. First lap we've lost 4 tenths, then we've lost about 6-7 tenths, then about 7 tenths again. That lap 5 was probably about 2 tenths slower than it really should have been. I'd said that should probably be about 1 minute 33. But we come to the end of lap 6 here, which is the end of the run. We've done a 133.1. So tyre weight on the mediums quite high, degradation quite high, lap time loss as the laps kick off quite high as well. So moving on to the hard tyres, we can get a handle as into how they compare lap by lap to the mediums. So we're on the last lap of the hard tyre run here, and we can look at the lap times on the left of the screen, sorry, the right of the screen. So first flying lap on the mediums is a 131.5 compared to a 132.8 for the hard tyre, so a loss of about 1.3 seconds. Second lap was a 131.8 on the mediums, it's a 132.8 for the hard tyre, so a further second loss on that lap. Lap 4 was a 132.5 on the mediums, and it's a 133.1 on the hard tyre, so around about 6 or 7 tenths on the third flying lap. Lap 5 a 33.3 on the hard tyres compared to what should have been a 133.0 for the mediums, so around about 3 tenths. And we did a 133.1 on the medium tyres on our 5th flying lap, and we're not quite at the end here, but this is going to be a 133.4, so around about 4 tenths of a difference. So the medium tyres do have quite a pace advantage over the hards, as you would expect initially, but by around about laps 6, those tyres just through the wear are going to sort of start putting out round about equal lap times. Over a stint of about 5-6 laps, the medium tyres I would say are worth around about 4 to 5 seconds. So we just moved to the chase cam there to give you a wee look at the wear. Okay, moving on to talk about strategy, and it's quite a difficult one to call. Last time this race came round, both the one stop and the two stop could work. I've seen both strategies win the race. I've seen both strategies be beneficial to get the jump on cars that they were fighting with. But it's definitely one of those races that is quite fluid, if you like, where you don't really go into the race with a set strategy in mind, and you sort of more adapt your strategy to what is going on the race around you. Going for the two stop is probably slightly quicker. Obviously I spend a lot more time on a faster compound of tyre, but simply coming out the pits behind a car on worn tyres that wants to fight with you can quite quickly put that strategy into jeopardy. On the other hand, the one stop, your tyres, you've got to at least run probably the medium tyres to lap 6 or 7, so by the end of your stint you're running on very, very worn tyres. If you don't happen to be good at looking after tyres, then you could be losing shed loads of lap time by the end of each stint. As demonstrated even on the hard tyre, by the end of lap 5 you're starting to sort of lose around about half a second, 6/10 compared to your best lap. So the hard tyres, whilst being more durable, are certainly prone to the degradation as well. So as I said, quite a hard one to really recommend what is the best strategy. I guess depending on your driving style and your kind of driving characteristics, whether you're good at looking after tyres or not good at looking after tyres, are probably going to come into play in this one. But whilst it is a very common combination, and maybe we're getting a little bit sick of it, the introduction of making the hard tyre mandatory certainly added a little bit of spice to this race last time it came round, and it was a very, very enjoyable race, trying to outfox your opposition by maybe coming up with some interesting strategies. One thing I probably wouldn't recommend if you're going for a two-stop is to start on the hard tyre. You're really going to be wanting to run that hard tyre for 3 laps, maybe 4 laps maximum out of 13 laps. And if you start on the hard tyre and then you pit, you're just going to put yourself into the pack. So if you're going to go for a two-stop, definitely start on the mediums, and then either change to the hards for the middle stint if the traffic looks favourable, or do a short stint at the end on the hard tyre. One stop, obviously your options are open. You can start on either the hard tyre or the medium tyre. Anyway, that is my thoughts for this one. Hopefully there's been some helpful information in here to sort of get you prepared for this race. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you very much for watching, good luck in your races, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.